Today we're going to talk about something that sounds, well, impossible. How to get more done by trying less. I know it sounds completely backward, right? But stick with me, because this might just change how you look at everything.
Seriously, think about it. You know that feeling, right? Like you're pushing a giant rock up a hill, day in and day out. You're giving it your all at work, with your personal goals, you name it, but you're just not seeing the results. It's exhausting. And a lot of the time, it's because we're chasing these super specific, really rigid ideas of what we're supposed to be. I mean, just look at the pressure for the so-called perfect body. You open up your phone and you're just hit with this one super narrow idea of what beauty is. And right away, anything that doesn't fit that mold starts to feel wrong or not good enough. It's a never-ending cycle of insecurity.
Or what about having the good ideology? It feels like everywhere you turn, you have to pick a side. One side is 100% good, which means the other side has to be 100% bad. And that just kills any real conversation or understanding. It just creates more and more conflict.
And then there's the successful career. We get sold this one specific picture of what success looks like. You know, the corner office, the big salary. But chasing that one thing so intensely, it's a direct path to total burnout, where we end up sacrificing our own happiness and health. A perfect body, the right beliefs, a successful career. All this striving, it's actually a trap.
And that's what we're going to call it, the perfection trap. See, the issue isn't that we want to be better. The issue is how we define perfect. The moment we create these impossibly narrow goals, we're basically setting ourselves up to feel like we're failing.
There's this incredible piece of ancient wisdom that just nails it. The second we all agree on what beautiful is, we instantly create ugly. The moment we define what's good, we automatically create bad. By putting one thing on a pedestal, we create a shadow, a tension that wasn't even there before.
And you see this everywhere. That perfect body on social media, it doesn't actually inspire most people, it just makes them feel insecure. A purely good political stance, it doesn't bring people together, it demonizes the other side and makes common ground impossible. The very act of chasing perfection becomes the root of the problem. So, if chasing one single ideal is a trap, what's the way out? Well, it's all about shifting how we see the world. It's not a battle between good and bad. It's more like a dance of opposites. It's about finding the natural balance in things.
Think about it. How could you ever appreciate an easy day if you'd never had a difficult one? Success is so sweet because we know what failure feels like. Silence is golden only because we know what noise is. These things aren't enemies you have to defeat. They're two sides of the exact same coin. They actually give each other meaning. And once you really get this dance of opposites, it leads you to this incredibly powerful way of doing things, the art of not forcing it. Now, this isn't about being lazy or passive. This is about unlocking a whole new level of effectiveness by learning to work with the world instead of constantly fighting against it.
The best way to picture this is to think of a surfer. A surfer doesn't try to fight the ocean. That would be insane. Instead, they watch the waves, they feel the current, and they align themselves with that power to go for an incredible ride. That's effortless action. It's not about doing nothing. It's about being powerful and effective without all the friction and struggle.
So how do we actually do this? Well, it starts by just letting things happen without constantly trying to control them. It means you create something amazing, but you don't need to own it or micromanage it. You do things without being attached to a specific reward. And, this is the big one, you accomplish great things without needing everyone to pat you on the back for it. It's a huge shift away from ego and towards real impact.
Okay, I know this can sound a bit abstract, so let's bring it down to earth. What does this actually look like in your real everyday life? Let's get practical.
At work, this can be a total game changer. If you're a leader, you stop micromanaging. You set a clear vision and then you trust your team to figure out how to get there. If you're a creative person, you stop trying to force an idea and just let it flow. And when you face a problem, instead of using brute force, you look for that elegant, simpler solution, the path of least resistance.
And it's just as powerful in our personal lives. If you're a parent, it's about guiding your kids by your own example, letting them learn from their own mistakes instead of trying to control every little thing. If you're learning something new, say an instrument, it's about falling in love with practicing, not just stressing about a flawless performance.
And maybe the simplest one of all? It's just listening to your body. Working with your energy, not always fighting it. So as we wrap this up, we get to what is maybe the most profound piece of this whole puzzle, and that's the power of letting go. It turns out that when you loosen your grip, that's when you get results that actually last.
Think about this. When you achieve something, but you don't tie it to your ego, you don't need the credit. That achievement becomes something bigger. It becomes more real. It can't be taken away from you because it was never about you in the first place. It's about the thing you created, and its value just endures.
A tree is the perfect example. A tree doesn't stress out about growing its leaves. It doesn't demand credit for the shade it provides. It just is. And by simply being what it is, it accomplishes its purpose perfectly. That same natural effectiveness is there for all of us. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. That project, that relationship, that part of yourself that you've been trying so hard to control, what might happen? What could finally blossom if you just stopped forcing it?